Hey fam, what is going on, and welcome back to another Ghost of Tsushima video. I am bringing you guys my highly requested Inferno Assassin build. Now guys, little disclaimer right off the back, this is not a poison build and this is not a speedrun type build, okay? I am not in any way trying to tell you guys how to play. This is just my build that a lot of people were asking to see, and if you like it, then you can roll with it. If not, it's all good. This is just something for you to build upon. I'm not saying this is the best build out there, but from the testing that I've done, I've had great success, and this build does some crazy damage. For those of you guys who just want to see the build and bounce out, I will be putting the build at the very beginning of the video, and for those of you guys who like a more in-depth video, then this one is for you. I hope you guys like it, man. If you do, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If not, it's all good. We love y'all anyway. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace. Hey guys, welcome. So first things first, I said I was going to show you guys my build. So this is for those of you guys who are interested in only seeing the build and bouncing out. All right, guys, for those of you who are here for a more in-depth video, this is for you, okay? So first things first, guys, my katana, okay? I'm using melee damage and oni damage. I'm using Way of the Flame and Water Master. So there are a lot of options that you can do with when it comes to the katana. You could even use Intimidating Counter. You can use Burning Blade if you like, or even Poison Blade if you got a poison build running. For me, I found that Way of the Flame is a very good option because one, I use it with my ultimate, and you can use it in order to break people's shields because it's unblockable when you have Way of the Flame. And also having Way of the Flame with Water Master just does crazy damage. And on top of that, you can see I do have Fire Master on my charm. So I'm running Oni damage instead of ultimate damage because I find that, for one, I have 3 strikes on my ultimate that you'll see later on the techniques. So having Oni damage when I'm using either a bomb pack or when I'm using melee damage, or even it adds to fire damage, you'll see that you burn through these Oni actually pretty quickly. So I really like having Oni damage as opposed to ultimate damage. Now I have melee damage on here instead of melee stagger or anything like that, simply because of the fact that melee damage carries on into your ultimate. So when you do ultimate, it just stacks. So having melee damage and Oni damage is actually helping your ultimate as well as any other attack that you're doing. So I think these two go really well together, and Water Master just gives your surging strikes some very good damage. Pair that with Way of the Flame and you should be good to go. It really burns through people. It's actually crazy. Now guys, for the second thing that I am using is Forbidden Medicine, and if you guys don't already know how to put Forbidden Medicine on your assassin, all you have to do is bind it to your Ronin and make sure it has assassin unlock before you bind it. After you bind it, you will be able to use it on your assassin. Now, you can't use the purple bomb packs. You can only use the legendary Forbidden Medicine for the assassin and for the samurai. So for this Forbidden Medicine, guys, I am using Blast Radius because every single bomb that you throw essentially is a bomb that could get you more resolve. So the more people that it hits, the more resolve you're going to get from that. Now, I am also using status effect damage because it does carry over for the fire that we are, we're trying to build for Fire Master. So whether I'm using Way of the Flame, whether I'm using black powder bombs, whether I'm using Fired Up on my sticky bomb, this status effect damage carries for all of those things. It is not only for Forbidden Medicine. If you see right here, it says increased damage of fire and poison effects. So anything that is a status effect, whether you're a hunter and you're using explosive arrow, you're a Ronin and you're using your bomb packs, or anything, it doesn't matter, this applies to it. It is not specific for this Forbidden Medicine. Now I also have Assassin Unlock, obviously, because you need it, and the amazing black powder bombs. Now so this build is going to be centered around using your black powder bombs at the beginning of the wave and doing as much damage as possible. So always having 2 black powder bombs, and then your munitions on your smoke bomb that you'll see later just pairs perfectly along with Fire Master, along with status effect damage, and you're doing some crazy damage with your black powder bombs. That's what I'm rocking on my Forbidden Medicine, and everything so far is just synergizing with each other. Now, when it comes to the Assassin Charm, guys, this was the most difficult thing to get together, but this is what I came up with. So for me, I really like stealth attack damage. Obviously, you need it as an assassin, and you know, I don't have the blowgun, so I don't have max stealth attack damage, but honestly, without the blowgun, and it doesn't matter whether you have 25, 25, 25, and you have 75% stealth attack damage, you are going to be still not one-shotting the things you think you're gonna one-shot, okay? Unless you have the perk that allows you to do double damage on a super assassination or anything like that, you're not gonna be able to do that. And for me, I just can't see myself using that specific technique, and we'll go over the techniques in a little bit. And I am using ghost weapon damage. So ghost weapon damage not only applies for these ghost weapons, let's say I had caltrops or something, it also applies for the black powder bombs on the Forbidden Medicine. So when they did the update, they did take away damage increase, which applied for the bombs and the black powder bombs. Now ghost weapon damage only applies to the black powder bombs. So you guys see kind of what I'm doing here. I'm trying to make my black powder bombs as strong as possible so I can completely delete the waves right when they spawn. And it really helps in any kind of nightmare, whether you're playing rivals or whether you're playing nightmare survival. This is insane and absolutely necessary for this build. Now I'm using chain vanish as well, because anytime you get an assassination, you will go back invisible and be able to assassinate again. And I'll show you guys why it's important to have that, because of the techniques that I'm using. And secondly, guys, I am using Fire Master. Now Fire Master is the very staple, very center of this build, and it is super important simply because of the fact that we are trying to stack that fire damage. We are trying to do as much fire damage as humanly possible with our black powder bombs. And when we pop Way of the Flame along with our ultimate, we are not only doing melee damage, we are also doing fire damage, so it increases the damage on that as well. So guys, that's what my Assassin Charm is looking like right there. All right guys, so let's talk a little bit about Hysteria, because I know a lot of people are going to be asking me, hey, why aren't you using Hysteria in this build? Well, right here, guys, if you see, Hysteria causes nearby enemies to hallucinate. So essentially what that means is anytime you assassinate an enemy, anything that is around a certain vicinity of that enemy that you just assassinated will become hallucinated. Now, if you've ever used hallucination darts, you know exactly what that means. It will make them all crazy. They'll start fighting each other. That person you hallucinated will become the target of the other enemies around them, and they'll all just start fighting each other. Now, that's all fun and well. However, for me, and if you guys have watched my other Nightmare Assassin builds, you will know that I don't really like Hysteria very much, because in Nightmare, guys, I would prefer the enemies to be focused on me. So when it comes to assassinating or anything like that, I know that I'm not going to get hit in the back by an enemy that's swinging his mace around all crazy trying to fight the guy that I'm assassinating. So everything is nice and calm, and I don't have to worry about anyone going crazy. Assassinating a hallucinated target while he's fighting somebody else can actually be a pain, especially when it comes to the Oni guys that are constantly teleporting and doing their AoE attacks when they're slamming the ground, or swinging their spears around, or shooting their magic in the air, or just lunging across the circle and trying to stab each other. So I like everything just to be calm and in one place for me to fight them. So that's why I don't use Hysteria. Now, next thing, guys, I am using the Magma Bomb. Now, this is a brand new legendary item. If you don't have it yet, it's easy. You can simply use your Spirit Kunai with ghost weapon damage, cooldown reduction on kill, and you can use super massive along with hidden blades, and that does actually crazy damage. So if you guys aren't already aware, you can definitely use your Spirit Kunai in lieu of using the Magma Bomb. Now, if you have the Magma Bomb, guys, this is what I'm rocking, okay? Ghost weapon damage. Again, I want to get my black powder bombs as strong as possible. So as of right now, guys, I have Oni damage that goes towards my black powder bombs. I have status effect damage that goes towards the black powder bombs fire when it fires up. I have ghost weapon damage and Fire Master that apply to the black powder bomb. And again, I have ghost weapon damage that applies to the black powder bomb. So you guys kind of see the theme that I am using here to get them as strong as possible. Now I am using cooldown reduction on kill as well, and because that 90-second cooldown is actually crazy. But I am also using fired up and lucky. So the very important thing about the magma bomb, if you guys aren't already aware, if you see right here, it says attaches to an enemy and explodes, staggering anyone caught in the blast and creating a small smoke cloud. Now it's not small, okay? This smoke cloud is the same exact smoke cloud that you get for your smoke bomb. And when you are using this, guys, for some reason, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but it feels like this smoke lasts longer than your actual smoke bomb. So being able to have the magma bomb and it creating another smoke bomb for you as an assassin is absolutely huge. Now it's important to note it doesn't drop munitions like your smoke bomb does. However, it does give you ample time to get a lot of assassinations, to get a lot of critical strikes, and essentially gives you another smoke bomb. And if you have lucky and it procs twice, now you have 3 smoke bombs. It's actually crazy. So using this as an assassin is very important for me because it helps me sustain and it helps me stay on the point, and it helps me clear waves without needing help from anybody else or anybody else's smoke bomb or having to vanish all the time, or you know, it helps me get those crits and helps me get those assassinations. Using magma bomb in conjunction with your smoke bomb is actually insane. Not at the same time, okay? So we'll go over the playstyle in a little bit. Next, guys, I am using smoke bomb, of course, which I am using stealth attack damage because, you know, I want that extra damage for my assassinations. I don't want to be completely weak when it comes to getting assassinations or even critical strikes, which is still very important, critical strikes as an assassin. Now I'm using cooldown reduction on kill, of course. I'm using munitions, and I'm using lucky again. So the thing about lucky on a smoke bomb is, yes, you can have a chance of getting 2 smoke bombs, but you will also have a chance of getting 2 munitions drop. Having that along with your bomb pack, along with black powder bombs, essentially gives you a crap ton of black powder bombs that you could possibly be using on 1, 2, 3 waves. You could go multiple waves without even picking up a stash of ammo. So this is actually crazy, and the way everything just synergizes together is it just feels so good and it feels so strong. I did a lot of test runs with this build, and honestly, guys, I really feel like this is the one for me. Like I said, it doesn't have to be for you, but this is how I've found that I do insane damage, and I'll show you guys everything I am talking about here soon. Now, techniques, guys. We're gonna go into the techniques, okay? So first things first, I'm using refreshing vanish. This is one of the new abilities, and it's absolutely insane, guys. It heals for 50 health, and not only does it heal you for 50 health, but it heals your teammate standing next to you for 50 health. There's no kind of negative effect when it comes to healing your teammate. They get the same amount of health you do. It's absolutely insane. Now, on my charm, you saw I have chain vanish, and it's very big for multiple reasons. Mainly for this one, because once you vanish again after getting an assassination, which is, it's important to make sure that you get one of the little guys first so you can vanish twice. Once you vanish again, this heal procs again. So essentially that's 100 health that you get total for yourself and anybody around you. You could come in super clutch and save the whole game by vanishing twice and healing yourself and healing your teammates for that same amount of time. So chain vanish is super clutch, and you have to have it along with refreshing vanish. This ability is insane, and for the assassin, guys, we really came up, man. This is the ability we deserve as the assassin. Now, when it comes to critical hit, I just could not find myself doing away with it. We talked earlier about the super strike, which essentially is your super assassinations or super criticals, and it does take 1 resolve. So having that along with getting +1 resolve on your charm is a possibility, and then having the blowgun and having 75% stealth attack damage in total is another possibility that people use, along with the poison build. For me, guys, I didn't find that to be something that I really like. For one, inflicting 30% damage on every assassination no matter what, and it doesn't cost resolve, was just a selling point for me. Now, you could use Assassin Unleash for 15% decrease in ability, and then you have legendary here instead of down here. All these on the right are part of the new ability sets. So for me, I stuck with critical hit because I just found having that consistent 30% damage without having to use resolve is huge for me. Next, guys, I'm using experienced assassin. For me, this is a no-brainer. Experienced assassin stealth attacks are faster and quieter. The more stealth attacks you do, whether they're crits, whether they're assassinations, is huge. You have your magma bomb and your smoke bomb that both have lucky on it, so you could essentially have 4 smoke bombs, and meantime you're doing a bunch of criticals, you're doing a bunch of assassinations, and you don't feel slow. You're really fast on your feet and you're getting those quick strikes in. And I feel like that's very big for an assassin that wants to be mobile and wants to do as much damage as possible in the shortest amount of time. Now, the last thing that I am using, guys, is I am using legendary, because as you know, I'm using 2 legendary slots, obviously. Now, there are many options to do with this kind of build, right? If you're okay with taking away your 30% damage, you could use legendary up here. You could also use chain vanish here to have 3 chain vanishes, or you could use shadow storm where you get 2 extra strikes and take away one of your legendaries. There's just a lot of things you can do, but for me, guys, this is the best thing that I found for my build that just keeps me in the fight longer, and it keeps me doing as much damage as possible. All right, guys, so we just went over a lot of information when it comes to gear and when it comes to techniques and some things that you can add in and out of this specific build that I just gave you guys. Now I want to go over the play style of how to play this build in what different situations. So specifically, we are talking about Nightmare Survival and Nightmare Rival. First things first, guys, when it comes to Nightmare Survival, you want to know the rotations. You want to know where the enemies are going to spawn at, and that's very important. So look it up if you don't already know, or if you're not in the Discord, I suggest going in the Discord, because at the very top of our Ghost of Tsushima section, I do have a section that shows every single wave in order for you to know exactly where everything's going to spawn for every single map. Now, once you know those locations, guys, the first thing you're going to want to do is big AoE damage, of course. You want to make sure you throw those black powder bombs in there and get everybody injured and get everybody hurt. You can throw the smoke bomb down in order to stop them from moving. It works very well on Shadows of War and basically maps on Nightmare Survival where there's really big choke points. So once you get them at that choke point, you could throw the smoke bomb, and then you can start blowing them up with the black powder bombs. Now, once you get them damaged, that is when you're going to want to start assassinating. If they're close enough to your smoke bomb, then you can start getting those assassinations in there. Hit them one at a time, get the little guys first, and then start working your way up to the big guys. Now, if your smoke bomb runs out and you're lucky didn't proc, you can throw your magma bomb, and throw your magma bomb, I would suggest aiming at a bigger target with a lot more health, so he's going to tank that hit. So once he tanks that hit, and after you've already hit him with your black powder bombs and your concussion bombs, then at that point he should already be ready for you to hit him with that assassination, because once that magma bomb blows up, it will drop a smoke bomb for you. So anybody around you, you can go ahead and start assassinating them as well. And if they're a little further away, throw your concussion bomb behind them and kind of bring them back closer to you. So that kind of thing really helps. So after you've done all those assassinations and there's, you know, a couple stragglers left, you're going to want to pop your vanish and then be able to finish off those little guys. Now, if you're starting a fight, depending on where you're at in Nightmare Survival, and you already have full ultimate, I suggest using your ultimate first, because once you start throwing your black powder bombs, you are going to get more resolve, and that's going to work towards your next ultimate. So if you have your ultimate before a fight, that's going to be your first move. Be sure you prop Way of the Flame with your ultimate, and then use your ultimate afterwards. This way you're getting that extra damage with Way of the Flame. Now, there's going to be some instances where the enemies are going to meet you at the actual point, and once you get them to that point and you have your cooldowns, it's important to get your enemies and allow them to surround you a little bit. This way you can throw your smoke bomb down and start working on those little guys that come in first. And then after you've got the little guys, you'll be able to go through and start working out on the bigger guys. So if your smoke runs out, kind of the same thing we just talked about, use that magma bomb, get another smoke dropped on the ground from the magma bomb, and start killing off the big guys. Also, while they're coming in, it helps to throw those big black powder bombs and start getting them damaged, so when they reach the circle, then you'll be able to easily kill them off. And the same thing when you get them at choke points, or you can even lure them near barrels that you haven't moved yet that are at their own spawn points. So once they get near the barrel, you want to make sure to throw a black powder bomb on the barrel, and it'll do extra damage because the fire damage from the black powder, and it'll explode the barrel in a bigger explosion. So anytime you use a barrel, I would suggest using your black powder bombs to blow it up and get that extra damage in there on all those enemies. So those are a lot of different instances that you'll see in Nightmare Survival, and it's kind of just all about managing your cooldowns and using the right tool in the right time. So obviously your black powder bombs are very good for AoE damage and getting the enemies hurt. And then you start working on the little guys with your smokes that are coming from your smoke bomb, and your magma bomb. And when you drop your smoke, guys, don't forget you have those munitions on the ground. Be sure to pick that up before you leave the area so you can have the most bombs for the next fight. Now, guys, when it comes to Rivals, I would say Rivals is a very different type of gameplay because it is more single to double targeting as opposed to massive AoE damage. You will still get those instances where the enemies are all clumped up, which is really good for you, so you can throw those black powder bombs and do massive damage and start with your smokes. But when it comes to the single target enemies, you know, you can always drop one bomb at a time and make sure that you're managing your bombs correctly and not throwing all your bombs at one person. So you're going to be doing a little bit of melee damage. You're going to be popping your ultimate in order to start a fight and target those very specific guys like the Tengus, like the Onyos, and the Shaman as well, and kind of take those guys out first. Now, when you throw your smoke, you know, you want to make sure that you're surrounded at least by 2 or 3 people. But also in the same thought, do not be scared to throw your magma bombs and do not be scared to throw your smokes because you do have that lucky perk on each of those. So there's a chance that you will get that back. Even if it's just one big guy you want to throw your smoke down, that is actually okay as well. But, you know, once you play Rivals, the more you play, the more you'll understand what level is coming up next, what level of enemy you're going to be fighting next, where the Oni treasure is at, where the big spawn points at, and at the end, obviously, when you do your final stand, the bigger the waves, you know, the more you want to save your actual cooldowns. So the single targeting is a little different. Just be very mindful with how much ammo you're spending on your bombs. Be mindful where the ammo stashes are located. Use your vanish accordingly, whether you're taking out those single targets. I would always suggest, guys, though, with the vanish to make sure you take out a little guy first so you get the maximum amount of kills you can with that vanish. You want to make sure you aim for the little guy, and then when you come back, you'll be able to use your vanish to kill another guy, or even use a critical strike for your second vanish on one of the bigger guys. This way you're not wasting anything. All right, so that's going to be it for my tips for Nightmare Survival and Rivals, guys. This build is very, very based on utility. It's a very well-rounded build with some absolutely insane AoE fire damage. And if you guys are like me, you like getting in the fight and being very, very aggressive. So this build helps with that as well. Listen, guys, if there is anything that you saw in this build that you like or that you want to try, definitely throw it down in the comments below. If you do try this build, guys, let me know how it is for you. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you prefer a poison build? Whatever you guys like. Or is there something in this build that you saw that maybe I could change? So yeah, I would definitely love to hear that in the comments below as well. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If not, it's all good. We love y'all anyway. Hope to catch you on the next one. Much love. Peace.